YouTube mic test 1 2. Is it? Oh, I need a topic, that's why. Mic test. Yeah, I think I'm trying to see how I'll be using them interchangeably. All good now. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Just check YouTube, TikTok. We're live now. No sound detected. TikTok, whoever's on, can you hear me? Oh gosh. Thank you so much for the Heart Me trilogy. Buffers Corner, nothing much. What's up with you? Hi Stanley. We're here. Can you guys hear me? Okay, I think you can. I just tested. Loud and clear. Cool. I think we can start. Oh, I'm actually very late. Like very, very late. I need to test something. So fine. Better than yesterday. East of the hackathons this year. You're taking a break. Yeah, we decided this year. Hackathons can wag for a bit. Oh, not any Oh, it hasn't started. That's why. We'll get to that. Cool. Let's start. Where's it now? Display capture. Minimize this one. Ooh, I already finished everything. Okay, let's just remove all of this code. Okay, now leave it there. Okay, can we get started? Oh yeah, but was gonna saying like yeah, we don't really. The problem is every time we go to these hackathons, it's like oh these guys are here again. So I we just decided let us leave it a bit. Can we start? Are you guys ready? We're ready. Perfect, perfect. I know we're always being done dirty, us. But anyway. Mm. Okay, cool. Let's start. Oh, what's happening here? Let's start. So the first thing, let's see. No, not that. There you go. This. Okay, so this is the email we should have all received if you're part of the App Academy. So we should have received this email, right? And then this is week 4. This is the beginning of the intermediate level. So we learned how to first build HTML CSS sites using HTML, then with some CSS to bring some life into it, yada yada yada, the basics. Then this week we'll be teaching the basics of JavaScript. So it is going to be a bit confusing, but guys got this. And then the lectures that will be coming up will be APIs, data input processing, user-centric development, app development, as well as data management and analysis, and business development. So the first thing is lesson 1, JavaScript outputs. So I see there's like an HTML. They're just basically speaking as to what. So I'll just read this just for the sake of reading it. So HTML is made up of 3 languages: HTML, CSS, JavaScript. HTML5. HTML is the skeleton of any web app. So if you see any website or anything that's on the web, HTML is the skeleton for that. CSS is used to CSS is used to improve the appearance, and then we've obviously done that, and now we're going to be learning JavaScript. So JavaScript is employed to give functionality to a web page or an app, but a web app think yeah, then make it more dynamic. For instance, if you want to create an app that asks the user to enter his or her name. Okay, what's happening there? Okay, that's fine. So yeah, so here we're basically learning how to now add functionality into our app. Okay, so the first part is this code. So I looked over this and I saw they just added CSS code, and I mean JavaScript code, and I'm guessing they want us to watch the videos. So I went ahead and just did something different. So we'll have something like this where we will just have each lesson do what the lesson does here. Okay, so it's still the exact same thing. It's just I've added some HTML because This was just um JavaScript. So I think if someone maybe didn't want to watch the videos, they would have been a bit confused. So let's get started. I won't show that for now. Let's get started. So where is it now? Cool. So the first thing we need to do, let's go to our GitHub desktop. Let's go to our GitHub desktop. I need YouTube open as well here. Just for the comments. Okay, cool. Let's have GitHub desktop open. Then what we're gonna be doing now is the first thing we're gonna do is obviously gonna click on file at the top and click on new repository. So we're gonna create another repository for this. This will be separate, right? So we'll click on new repository. Then here we're gonna just say uh week 4. What's happening here? Week 4 dash JS, or you can say JavaScript. So I've got week 4 JavaScript. We'll be learning basics of JS. Cool. So you can have a readme, doesn't matter. Then also uh the what's this? Yes, it is quicker, but not everyone is using terminal. Not everyone's using terminal. Okay. We'll push using the terminal, the first one. Let's just create the repo using desktop. And then Stanley, yeah, we're supposed to do the e-commerce, but the in my WhatsApp group, people wanted this. Most people wanted this, so I had to go with this. Okay, so it's week 4 JavaScript, and then just have a quick description and get ignore. You don't need that license. You don't need that. You can add a README file. Then click on create repository. Okay, create repository. Then that will create our repo. Then we'll quickly push it onto GitHub. Okay, there we go. So let's push it to GitHub. We should be very comfortable with this part now. You should be able to now do it on your own. But yeah, so we're just quickly pushing, and then we'll open it in VS Code and we'll get started quickly. Okay, in Mlungisi, if you can come to TikTok and send me a DM with your phone number, I'll add you. So if you can just come to TikTok, send me a DM with your phone number, and then I'll add you. Did I not click? I did click back. Oh yeah, I did. Yeah, they said the same thing. They said the same thing, that it's better we do this, so at least you could understand what we were doing in that e-commerce site. Okay, cool. So we're done with that. We can minimize GitHub desktop. Let's go to our VS Code. Then we'll click on open folder. So by now it should be exactly where you normally save your different projects. So we've got week 4 JavaScript. Let's open up week 4 JavaScript. Week 4 JavaScript. And okay, there we go. We've got week 4 JavaScript. So the first thing we'll do, just quickly create a new file. Okay, no, let's not do it there. Let's do it here. Click on new file and then index.html. Index.html. It's actually very slow today. Okay, cool. Then we can quickly just do our HTML template. Then here we'll just say all right. So we're just adding a title, right? So we're doing week 4. So all our week 4 stuff will be in here, okay? But I want us to quickly do some small CSS that we're gonna be using. So just create a style.css. It's gonna be quick, it's a few lines. So we're gonna just quickly write this CSS and then we'll continue. So we're just gonna have the body. This will have a font family, and this font family can be Arial. Okay. Font family, and then a max width of 600 pixels. So just write this CSS. This is just so as we're doing the lessons, the code we'll be writing in the lessons will already be styled for us. So we just want to quickly just do short CSS. It'll be very quick. So it's maxed with did someone send a oh okay. Cool. So we do max width of 600 pixels, then a margin. Margin will be 20 pixels auto. 20 pixels auto, and then we've got padding. Our padding will be 20 pixels. Okay. That's done with the body. Then the next part is just do dot lesson. So just write dot lesson. So we'll have a class called lesson. Then you add a border. Your border will have 1 pixel solid and the colors CCC. No, you just have to copy. I'm not explaining this, but just copy the code. Just write what I'm writing right here. So you just have to copy, but I'll give like a good second for you guys to quickly get this part. Okay, so it's the border. We have a margin, 20 pixels and 0. Then we have padding of 15 pixels, and then background. This is hashtag F9 F9 F9. Okay, so we're done with that. The next one will be button. So the next part will be button, and then in button we just have a background, and then this background will be hashtag 007 ACC, and then we have a color which will be the font color, white. Okay, and then padding, and this will be 8 pixels 15 pixels. Okay, then our border will have none, and the cursor will be a pointer. Then margin 5 pixels 0. Okay, so I'll just quickly wait for you guys here for like a good 30-40 seconds, and then we quickly go on to the next part. There's just 2 more styles we do and then we're done. You don't have to do this if you don't want to have your thing styled. So this is not a requirement. It's just I want to have the styling. So you don't have to have the styling included. It's not a must. This last in the grave, next last in the stew. See now. Okay, cool. The next part is input select, input comma select. Okay, so we'll just add some padding in this inputs, 5 pixel padding, as well as a margin. Okay, The margin will be 3 pixels. Oh, okay. Okay, and then the last one is dot result. Dot result, which will have a background. Hashtag E8F4FD. And then we have padding with 10 pixels as well as a margin 10 pixels 0. Okay, that's done. So this is the CSS we're adding. This is the CSS we're adding. I'm not charging. Okay, are we good? Okay, think we'll get started with thank you for the follow. We'll get started with the HTML stuff now. Max width is 600 pixels. The max width is 600 pixels. Thank you so much for the hot meal, Frost. Thank you for joining. Okay, let's go to our index.html now. Okay, cool. Just let me know if you missed it, but now I'm on the index.html. Now, what we have to do is we just need to link our CSS. So you can just do link CSS, then that's done. And now we can continue. So the first part is we're doing lesson 1, right? So let's just add an H1. So this is just JavaScript week 4. We are dealing with JavaScript week 4. The screen it's big enough, right? On both sides. And nothing is blocking. Okay. So the first thing we'll do now, right, is lesson 1. Okay. So we'll add a div, and then this div will have an h3. This will be lesson 1. Show text on page. So we'll be using JavaScript to show text on our web page. So this is what this lesson's about. So just give this div a class of lesson. Give this div a class of lesson, and then we have an h1. Then this is the important part. We need to have some text that we'll be manipulating using JavaScript, right? So this will be the first text. Okay, so we'll have this one as well as a paragraph. Maybe we can say world. Okay, so this is just bare bone HTML, right? Then we'll have a button as well. So we'll have a button, and this button will be called change text. This button will be called change text. Okay, so now let me explain what we need to do. So we've got this. This is just an H1. We're not gonna H3. We're not gonna be doing anything to that, right? But let's focus on these two. We want to be able to change the words that are in here using JavaScript. We want to be able to change the words that are in here using JavaScript. So how would we do that? Firstly, JavaScript will not know what these elements are without them having a name. So we need to give them a name. And JavaScript uses an ID to be able to reference these elements, right? So for us to now give this a name so we can reference it in JavaScript, we'll give it ID of heading 1. So this is our first heading. So this is just giving it an ID, not a class. So we're using ID. So JavaScript is, we use ID to be able to reference our elements, okay? You can use class names as well, but ID is more preferred because once you use an ID, ID is unique, all right? So we've got ID of heading 1, ID of heading 1, okay? Then we also want to change this as well. So this also needs to have an ID. This will have an ID of paragraph 1, or you can just say text 1. Yeah, that will be quicker. Text 1. That's all. So we've done our naming. So now we will be able to reference this in our JavaScript, right? We've done our naming and we'll be able to reference this in our JavaScript. But for it to change, the button needs to call something for it to be able to do the changing, right? So let's just give this an on click, and then we'll say lesson 1. So we'll be calling our function lesson 1. The name of our function will be lesson 1. Whenever this button is clicked, lesson 1 will be run. So lesson 1 is basically a function. A function is a block of code which is used to execute a function, right? To do something. So you can use it repeatedly to say if I'm maybe taking a parameter or an input, then this block of code will run and do something. Now, the first thing we do here is there's a tag in HTML called script. So if you don't want to use um, your own script.js file, you can use a tag called script. And in script, automatically this will take in JavaScript code. Okay, this will now take in JavaScript code. So this script is for us to take JavaScript code. And you see how we have it within this div. It's because we want this to be used in here, because we'll be doing all the lessons in this HTML document, right? So we created this name, but let's go to our HTML file and see when we click that what happens, because nothing should happen at the moment. Okay, so you see, this was our first one. So that CSS is basically doing this. So you see, when we click this, nothing is happening. We press this, nothing happens. And we want to change these two texts when this button is clicked. So let's go back to our VS Code and get that to work, okay? So now in the script, let's remove this. In the script, right, we need to create a function. So we've got this called function, right? So the reason I did it like this is so you can see what happens here. So to create a function, the name is function. In Python it would be def, and then in Kotlin it could be fun, which is just fun for function. But what a function takes is it needs the name of the function. So
you are moving so fast, bro.
okay, I'll go slower. Where are you lost? Okay, so let's just circle back a bit, a bit, a bit. Okay, so we have this button. This button has an attribute called onClick. OnClick basically says that when this element is clicked, something must happen. So, like it's pressed, something must happen. So, the something that must happen needs to be a function. Now, the function is a block of code that is used to execute something. So, you write this code in here to do something, right? So when we have this function, we have a name. The function is named after something. So this first function will be named lesson one. Thank you so much for the heart, Mikarabo. This first function will be named lesson one. And a function must always, when you call a function, you put the name of the function and add brackets. That's how you know it's a function, okay? So it's lesson one brackets. This is the function. You calling the function here. But this function,
Pleasure.
thank you, this function is not made yet. So how do we make it? We need to make it in or write it in JavaScript. So what I was saying is in HTML, there's a script tag which allows you to write JavaScript code within your HTML document. Okay? It allows you to write, thank you so much, Garabo. It allows you to write script JavaScript code within your HTML document. So this is what I'm saying here. Now, all of this code here is JavaScript. If I had to write HTML, you'll see how it will give me issues because this is not JavaScript. So whatever goes inside your script tag must be JavaScript code. Got that part? Now, we need to create this function. So to create a function, you write the word as is function, okay? And then there's something VS Code has. You see this one with the block and the dots. This one, this second one, function statement. Function statement, right? H TikTok campus. Yes, so you see this one. What happens here is when you click on this, it will create the structure of the function for you, right? So the reason I clicked on it is so you guys can see what a function consists of. So a function will have the name first. So this is the name of the function. Basically, this lesson one is what we would have here. Then parameters. What is your parameters? Parameters is basically anything you want the function to be able to consume. So you are just saying that, okay, think of a calculator. Let me put it in this example. Think of a calculator. A calculator would have a function of add, right? Calculator would have a function of add. And in add, what do you need to add two numbers? You need two numbers. So what this parameter does, it says, give me two numbers. So if you had a function called add, you'd have a and B, which is number one and number two. Or you could write it as num1, then num2. This is basically what parameters do. It's what you are giving the function to be able to execute or do or work on the code. So in this example, let's just do this function of add just so we can see what we'd be doing. So if we had to do an add, the way we'd add, we can just return, because when you add, you want to get an answer, right? So we can just return num1 plus num2. And just like that, you've created an addition function. So whenever this function is called, let's say for example, in this on click, we'd have add and have the brackets, right? But this won't work without having these two. So we could just add 1 plus 20. So this will be num1. Think of this as num1 and then think of this as num2. Oh, sorry, I'm lying to you guys. Sorry, it's 1 comma 20, right? So that was an error on my side. So it's not 1 plus because you're not doing the addition. You're just passing the parameters. So you see how we've got 1 comma num1 comma num2. You do the exact same thing but with the actual values. So here we've got num1 comma num2. Then this function will be called. So when I say the function will be called, it means the function will be run, right? It means it will be run. When I say it will be run, what it does now, look at what I'm about to do. So what it will do, this num1 will come in here. It will come like that. Don't mind the squiggly lines. I'm just showing you how it actually works. So once the button is clicked, JavaScript will now add num1, which will be equal to 1. It will add it here. Then it will say, oh, the second parameter is 20. It will add it right there. Now, remember, this is num1. So now in the function, it will replace num1 and put it as 1. Okay? Then it will replace num2 and put it as 20 because you put two parameters that you were expecting. Then JavaScript takes those two parameters and will give you the results. So 20 plus 1 will be 21. So what you will get from that function will be the answer of 21. Okay? That's what you get there. But now, that was just me explaining parameters, okay? So let's go back to how it was. Firstly, do you understand that part? Do we understand that part? Do you guys understand the part? Ah, thank you so much, Tato. I appreciate you. I didn't even see. Thank you so much. Thank you.
No, I understand.
Understand. Perfect. Yes. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Perfect. Let us continue then. Oh, don't.
Don't.
Where you lost Jesse?
Yes.
Jesse, where you lost? Thank you so much for the roses. Appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for the roses.
Functions of the buttons.
Functions of the buttons. Okay. So this function of the button here. Oh, okay. So the button, right? Let's go back here. The button, this is your button, right? When a button is clicked, there's a function. Oh, thank you so much for the rosa, Tato. I appreciate you so much. Okay, when the button here is clicked, it will now come here and say, when the button is clicked, I want you to do something. This doing something is your function, right? And you need to write that function. Okay, so we've got this function, which was called add. So let's actually see it practically. Let's say num1, num2. Okay, and then we return, or let's not return, but let's actually alert um, num1 plus num2. Okay, so we've added 1 and 20. You see how I have not added the numbers here. Let's go back to the HTML and click on this. So you see it's given us our answer of 21. Because what happens is JavaScript now takes these two numbers and places them in here. Then the function runs and adds the numbers for you. So if you had a function for subtraction, it would subtract as well. But you have a function for addition, so you'd add here. So we could call this subtract, and it would do the same thing. So you'd have to change this as well because that's the function's name, and put a minus there. So all it's doing, it's now taking these numbers that it got and putting them in here. It's replacing them and doing the actual function for you. So let's see, 1 minus, it's negative 19. So it's going, obviously going from the 1 and then minusing your 20. Do we understand that part? That's what the function does. So now we want to create a function that will change this
Yes.
text. Yes, okay, perfect. Okay, so we want to create a function that will change this text. So we called it lesson 1. Okay, lesson 1. Now we'll have to name this lesson 1 as well because that's the name of our function. We have no parameters because we are not expecting to take in anything, right? Now, what we need to do is we first need to write something called document. Okay, so this just refers to the HTML document itself. Okay, so it refers to the HTML document itself. Now it says document dot. We are now checking. We want to call a specific function again. You see, a specific function within document. So the function we want to get is a get element by ID. So it's called a method, but yeah, so you've got document dot get element by ID, okay? And don't forget your brackets because you are calling it, right? This expects an element ID. Do you see here? Get element ID expects a string of get element ID. So when you add this, it needs to be the element's ID. This is your element ID right here. So we want to get heading 1 as the element ID, right? So to get it, all we do is we add our double quotes. Don't forget it's looking for a string. So add double quotes. Then in those double quotes, the exact way you put the ID there, you need to put it in here. So heading 1. Okay? Heading 1. Just like that. Now you've gotten the element, right? Basically, JavaScript now knows where the specific h2 is. This specific one, okay? But now what we want to do is want to change the text within this h2. Okay, so let me just explain something here. So when you look, oh, that's all. Thank you so much, Tiffs. Okay, when you look at this specific code right here, let me even try to zoom in. Oof. I know you all can see, but I just want to highlight it perfectly. When you look at this right here within these two, or let me do it like this rather. Whatever is in this space, you see this space that I've highlighted, this is your inner HTML. So what inner HTML means, you are saying whichever ID or whichever element I'm getting, I want to make changes in that HTML. So this is the inner HTML. The reason I'm saying this is because whatever text is here, if we want to change it, we need to say we want to change the inner HTML, okay? The inner HTML. And how do we do that? So we already have this function created, right? And then after the dot get element by ID, it has another one called dot inner HTML. So this is a property of um this document get element by ID. Okay, so this is a property which we have inner HTML. So this is obviously what we want to do is want to change this text, right? We want to change the text. So dot inner HTML, and we just say equal. You can write whatever text. So here I'll say this is hiding. This is JavaScript. The size was fine. Yeah, I could still see it. Okay, yeah. So you say this is JavaScript. Then you have your colon. Don't forget your colon. Okay, so what this code is doing, it's saying, okay, I need to find the document being whichever HTML file we are on, right? After document, it will say, okay, I need to get an element. Which element am I looking for? But since I don't want to get all the elements, I want to get a specific element. So you can get a specific element by using its ID. So that's why we put the ID here. Remember, we added ID. So we're saying we want to get an element being h2 by its ID. After getting it by its ID, we put the name of the ID. So after saying get element by ID, you need to put brackets because you're calling a function, okay? Then you put quotes. So you put it in quotes because it's a string. Remember, it's a string, right? So a string is denoted by double quotes, because if you just had it without the quotes
Hey
like
Sim,
this,
I'm late. Which week you guys are doing now?
week 4, we're doing week 4, KB. Okay, so we if we had to put it like this, it does not know what heading is, right? So we need it as a string. So make sure you have double quotes so you don't have any errors, okay? Then you put dot inner HTML because we want to change the inner HTML. We want to change what's inside here. Okay. And then after that, you can just say equal to whatever you want. So you're basically now saying that whatever I want to add in this inner HTML, this is what I'm adding. So that's the text you'll be adding. Also make sure it's in double quotes.
OWK cool.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so this is basically the text you'd be adding within this specific um element, right? So let's quickly check it. If we click, what happens, right? So you see right now it's hello, but the moment we click change text, it's now changed to this is JavaScript. So what it did, it now came, the JavaScript came in here and said, okay, here's our entire document. Let's find this element called heading one and let's add inner HTML. So let's change what's inside there. So another example would be when you have no text yet, you're not sure what you're gonna add yet, right? If we're on a different JS file, instead of using it in HTML script code, would document.element by element ID be still? Can you please try and rephrase that question? Or if someone in YouTube comments understands, please just explain it to me. I'm not exactly understanding what you're asking. Okay, so let's say we had no text here, right? So let's come here. You see right now there's nothing. The moment we click on this, it adds the text because we're saying add something in the
Am I the
HTML.
only one who's still doing week 2?
Yo, week two. That's very far. That's very far. You can try my YouTube channel and you should be able to see at least the different lives of the weeks. Okay, so this is JavaScript. Okay. So we're now on this is JavaScript. When you clicked on it, it changed, right? Why am I going to get up desktop? So this is what this does, right? So obviously we also want to do the same thing to the next one. Okay, so we just do the exact same thing. Document dot get element by ID. Then you add the element ID, which would be text one.
Thanks, I'll go to YouTube week 2.
Okay, no problem. So you'll have, we named it text one. So you'll have get element by ID text one. Okay. Then dot inner HTML, and we can change this to whatever we want. I'm having fun. All right. And add your colon. So this is how we close our lines of code in JavaScript. So let's see what this does. If we click on change text. Oh. Why did you not change? Let's see why it didn't change. Did we refresh? But it should have changed. Oh yeah, we didn't refresh. Okay, so you see, let's refresh. There we go. So we've got hello world, and now you're not alone. Have multiple. Huh? No, no. Have multiple sibling grammars. Focus on FNB now. Ish, askisin. Uh, okay. So we've got this.
At Maniki_RIM, stressed but ill catch up.
Now you will definitely catch up. Okay, cool. So we've got uh these two done, right? When we click this button, both of them get changed because this button, yes, even if it was in a different one, as long as you've linked your script file to your HTML file, it will still find it. If you have not linked it, it will not know what to do. Yeah, we use the same syntax. So this is the same syntax. This is just JavaScript syntax. It's the exact same we'd have. You are right, Millie. Okay, cool. So we're done with that, right? So we've now worked on a function that when we click on it, it changes our text in HTML. So now we learned how to do that. Any questions? Because now we're moving on to the next lesson. Are there any questions? So when we click on this button, it changed to I am having fun, and this is JavaScript. So click, there we go. So the reason I did the HTML so we can actually see it happen live, so you understand the concept of it. Any questions? Um, are you guys still copying, or can we move on to the next lesson? Guys, still copying, or can we move on to the next lesson? Please, if you have a question, tell me now so I can help. We don't want anyone to be left behind. Next lesson.
I liked how you did it with the button. Better than the video.
Thank you so much. That was the idea because I saw the videos like, I think we need a better way. This is JavaScript. King Andrew, this is JavaScript. Let's go.
Let's go.
Okay, perfect. Lesson 2 now. Okay, so we're done with lesson 1. We'll just name this one lesson 1 so we know. So let's have a habit of committing our code. So since we're done, let's just commit our code. If you don't want to commit, don't commit. We'll just do a quick commit and push it to GitHub. People on here, are you using GitHub desktop or terminal? Because I'm gonna just use this and continue. Would you like to you can commit them directly? Yes.
Lol push via terminal.
Oh, ASCII's. Okay, next lesson, Tato, will be terminal. Sorry, Tato.
But tell me, Sim, are you going to take us through again tomorrow? I was late today and lost chime.
Okay, I might, because I do see we might finish a bit quick. It is okay. Wait, we might not. Actually, we might. I do trust we'll finish it quick. It's just gonna be the thing of if people understand as well. Okay, so I've done. I've pushed. If anyone wants to access the repo to get what we've done so far, it will be under my GitHub. Okay, you can load now. There we go. So we'll be under here, and then you guys can just access what we've done so far. So the first part was the JavaScript. So you'll find it right there. Oh, Shane. Thank you so much, Shane. Thank you so much. I appreciate you so much. All right. So the lesson is there. You can just go to GitHub and download the first part. Then we'll continue. This is the lesson 1. So now we're moving on to lesson 2. Cool. So lesson 2. Let's close that. What's happening? Okay. Lesson 2. All right. Let's just go back to the email and see if we did the things. Okay, yeah. Why did I have it in brackets here? Okay, cool. The next part will be doing variables, right? So these play a fundamental whenever, no, I'll explain it, it's fine. It's fine, I'll explain it. Okay, we're now on lesson 2, right? So let's start by doing our div quickly. So we have a div with class lesson, okay? And then in this one we'll have an h2, the lesson, it's now lesson 2, which is variables. So it's basically text storage. Okay. Then let's do another h2. This h2 will be text will change, and then paragraph, more text here. All right. Or in a button. Then use variables. Okay. Now we have our bare bone HTML. Let's just go see how it looks quickly. Here's lesson 2. So nothing obviously happens at the moment, but we've got our h2 and our paragraph and a button. So we want to be able to use variables to be able to change text instead of having to put the actual um text in here like this. Okay, instead of having to use the actual HTML text like this, we would use a variable. Okay, so let's start. Obviously now the first thing we need to do is we need to give this an ID. And remember, ID needs to be unique, so we're not going to give it the same ID as this. We need to say heading 2 at least, because we don't want our JavaScript to think these are the same things. So h2, then this will have an ID of text 2. All right. Then this button needs to be able to do a function. So the attribute is called on click. Okay, on click, and then on click will run a function called lesson 2 with your brackets. Okay, so this function will name it lesson 2. YouTube's still good. Okay, we'll name it lesson 2, right? And then we can have our script, and then we'll start writing our code here. All right, so we now need to create a new function called lesson 2, but I'll explain what variables are now. So let's just quickly create the function first. So we called lesson 2, and we don't need any parameters at the moment. Okay, so we're not passing any parameters. Now a variable, right, is basically text that is stored within the browser, right, in your memory. It's basically text that's stored in your browser within your memory. All right, so this, the way we create a variable, there's different ways. There's var, there's const, then there's let. Okay, so there's var, const, let. Can create a variable using var, which is just variable. Const would be a constant variable, meaning it doesn't change. Let is a variable that can change, okay, meaning you can reassign it or change a letter or whatever within the code, not necessarily you typing, but within the code. So const, it cannot be changed. Var is just variable. Let can also be changed. Okay, so we'll work with var for now. Oh, sorry, my music went off. Okay, so we'll work with var for now, ne? So let's just say the first part will have a variable called message one. Okay, this message one will say hello everyone. Okay, then we'll have a second variable called message 2. So the way we create it is you'd have the keyword called var because you're now saying that I want to create a variable. Then you'll have the name of the variable, okay? The name of the variable. Then you say equals whatever you want to name this variable or whatever you want to store, right? So this message, wherever you use this, will always have the value of hello everyone. That's what a variable is. Think of it like a container. You are now storing hello everyone in this container named as message one. Okay, so you're just storing that word hello everyone into this container called message one. Then if I take this message one somewhere there, I'm like, what is in message one? Whenever I check what's in message one, the value is hello everyone. That's what you're doing. Message one's container will always be always be hello everyone, right? Then you can have a second message. We'll just say I love JavaScript. Okay, and then the third one, we can have a third message. Then we can just say it's awesome. So this is just text. You can add whatever you want to add, but let's just add three variables for now. Okay, let's see how we can use these variables.
Bafo.
Oh, Booger, how are you? Okay, let's see how we can use these messages. Okay, so the way we can use these messages is we can write document. So again, we want to be able to add these messages and change them in here. Okay, want to be able to change them in here, but without us having to rewrite this and assign it to this document. Okay, okay, okay. So thank you so much, Demelo. I didn't see that. If you're still here, thank you so much, Demelo, for the finger heart. Thank you, Booger, for the heart me. All right, so it's gonna be document.get element by ID. So we obviously want to get an element using an ID. Then we now want to get element ID number 2, right? Please make sure you're not using 1, because now we don't have a unique one, and whatever we do here will be done on the same one. So if we had to
What's
change
going
this,
on here?
people are learning JavaScript. So this is heading 1, this is heading 2. Make sure they're unique so that JavaScript does not do the same thing to both of them, because it will have the same name. So we'll just keep it as heading 2, then dot inner HTML. Okay, dot inner HTML is equal to message 1. Now you see I didn't have to now write hello everyone here. I don't have to do this. As long as you have a laptop, you can definitely join. If you've got a laptop, you can join. And willingness to learn. All right. So guys, you see how the same way we did it previously, we had the text right there. But now this time we don't have the text here. We're just referencing this container or this variable, right? So we're just saying that I want whatever value of this variable is, I want you to show that. So that's what we do here. Okay. Now the next part is let's just do document 2. I'm using VS Code as the IDE. Let's do number 2, heading number 2. So document.get element by ID, and then the second one we want to do is text 2. Okay, and dot inner HTML. Now here we want to be able to add these two in the same line. So the
At
way
Skeke. What going here?
Mina, we are learning how to program. I'm teaching people how to use JavaScript. First rate. So how come I'm not seeing things here? Okay.
Bro, how are you? I DM you last night about the help I need on my business website in Doma Verfi.
Okay, I'll try to respond. There's a lot of requests. I'm sorry. There's a lot of requests, but I'll try to respond. If not, please try IG as well, but I'll try to respond. Where was I? Okay. So what we want to do here is we want to add these two here. So if we had to add these two, what we would have done is we would have done it like this. We would have done it like this. right? So instead of us doing it, this is also distracting. Okay, instead of us doing it like this, we can use variables to add them together, right? So we can just say message 2 plus message 3. And what JavaScript will do, it will now take the value of message 2 and add it with the value of message 3, then show it in text 2. So let's see how that works, right? Let's refresh. Then when we click this, do you see what happens here? So it says, hello everyone. I love JavaScript. It's awesome. But do you see how there's no spacing here? So JavaScript, what it does, it will take it as it sees it. It will not add spaces for you or whatever. It will take it exactly how you do it. So you need to write the code to say, I need a space, or what you do is you'd concatenate. So concatenation means you are now adding strings together, right? So you could just add an empty space here. Then what JavaScript will do, it will take message 2, plus it with this empty space, then plus it with message 3. So let's see how that works. Yo, I missed. Is YouTube saying anything? My browser not updating. What could be the issue? My browser not. What could be the problem? Two people with browsers not updating. I'm not too sure. Can you rest? Thank you so much, Tando. Thank you. Can you try and maybe restart your browser and see? Okay. So do you see now there's a space here? The reason the space is there is because we added it here. So JavaScript will take it as is and paste it exactly as they are. My recent work is on GitHub. I don't know if you're on the right profile, but this is it. I'll paste it in the chat. Oh, Tando, thank you so much. Yo, you are spoiling me. Thank you for the hot me. Thank you for the hats. Thank you. Yo, you lit it up even. Thank you so much. Okay, here's the GitHub. 50%. Wow. Thank you so much, Tando. Where was I? All right. So you see, that's concatenation. You're adding two strings together. Okay, adding two strings together. So basically, when we click on this, it adds them together. So it will take this and add it with this and put them right next to each other. Then the way you can add space is either in the string itself. You can just add a space there. Then if we come back here and we click, you'll see there's a space because we just added the space in the string itself. Okay, so that's what you must also be aware of. So JavaScript will add strings exactly as they are. You need to make sure if there's spacing required, you do that yourself as well. Okay, so that's lesson 2 done. That's how we use variables. Are there any questions? Thank you so much, Tando. Any questions? Okay, in the absence of questions, I'll be moving on. Are you guys done typing also? YouTube, are you guys good?
Yes.
Yes, yes. Okay. Okay, cool. Let's now commit
Yes.
this. Let's now commit this. So I'll use terminal because they wanna see terminal. Okay. Let's use the terminal to commit this. If you are comfortable with GitHub desktop, please use GitHub desktop. We're just committing this piece of work that we just done. Okay. So for us to do that, uh, okay, let's let it load quickly. It's very slow, Shem. Oh, there we go. Okay, so we can just do a git status to see which files required to be added. Okay, it's just one file, so we can just get this and then do a git add, put the file name, then you'll click on enter. So this will now add this file. This will now add this file onto git. Okay, ready for committing. So let's git status again. Let's do git status again. All right. Then we now see that we've got changes to be committed. So let's quickly do a commit. How we do a commit is we do git commit dash m, and what are we committing? So is that more roses? Thank you so much, Shane. Thank you. Appreciate you. I really appreciate you. Git commit dash m. So you're just saying you're adding a message as well. The message will be listen to. Listen to was variables and enter. That'll do your commit. Then git push. And just like that, we're done. Committed your changes and pushed to GitHub. Just wait for the push to finish. This is how you push using terminal. So it's how you add to GitHub, commit your file, then push it to GitHub. So now we're done with that. Let's continue. We're now on lesson 3. There was no questions, so we'll move on. Lesson 3. Let's go back to the email and see what was lesson 3 about. So this was variables part 2. So we'll be using numbers.
Guys, can anyone please answer me? After completing this FNB Academy course, is one getting a certif?
Can we not touch that topic? But it's on. Ish, yeah. Just search. Ish. They said no, but you'll be getting a certification of completion, and you can still use this as credits to actually get an NCAF level 5. But yeah. Okay, so now we'll be using numbers. Okay, so this is lesson 3. Let's continue. YouTube, can you hear the desktop when they do that speaking stuff? I don't think so. I don't think it counts me. Okay, no, it's fine. Let's continue. So we're doing lesson 3, which is variables part 2. All right.
We can hear it
We can
tick
hear it
tock.
tick tock. Oh, okay. Perfect. Now, again, yep. Oh, okay. At least you'll know what's happening on TikTok. That's the idea. Cool. So we'll do lesson 3 now. So we'll be using numbers, right? So to use numbers, we'll do a div again with the class of lessons. So this will just be standard, just so we can have that border for each of our lessons.
There's no echo,
There's
you're
no
good
echo,
this
you're good
side.
this side. It's on YouTube, answers are here. Yeah, there's no echo. There's no echo. Applications still available. I think through IT Varsity, yes, but App Academy applications are closed. So through IT Varsity,
Okay, it does
okay,
echo
it
a
does
bit.
echo a bit. Does echo a bit. I'm not sure. Okay, well, just let me know if it still echoes. I'll try to check. But let's continue. Oh, okay. We've got lesson 3 now. Okay, so let's add our H3 and then we'll have lesson.
But not
3.
full time, just a bit.
Not full time, just a bit. Okay. Thank you. Okay, thank you. Cool. We've got lesson 3. This will be variables. Just a quick question, guys. Modules show on IT Varsity LMS. Anyone who has access to IT Varsity LMS, do you see your modules? I'm not. I don't have access to that. So okay, variables, and we're doing
It's not an
numbers.
echo, it's like robot following after you.
Oh yes, no, that's correct. That's correct. That's fine. So first thing we'll have here is a paragraph, and we'll just say that math equation will show up here. Okay. No modules yet. No, using emails and Simphiwe. Yeah, no modules. I don't have also, so asas. Okay, so we added a paragraph. This is where we will add the answer basically of what we'll be doing. Then we'll have a button, okay, and have on click as always. On click. This will be now lesson 3, function lesson 3, and then we close our button and add do math. Okay, cool. So we have a paragraph. This is just text for us to actually add the equation here. And then we've got a button which will actually execute the function. Okay. Hey, sesobona phambili. Now let's add our script tag. Let's add our script tag. And then in our script tag, let's create our function. Fun. Why are you not showing up anymore? Okay, it's fine. Oh, no wonder it's not showing up. So, mind you, look at something quickly. So you see how I spelled script wrong. So JavaScript code will not be executed unless it's a script tag and it will not show properly. So you see how it's not showing. Even my emit abbreviations are not popping up because it's not within a script tag. So it needs to be script. Then you see now I can write a function. So you just need to also be aware of stuff like that. But okay, so this one will be lesson 3. Then we don't need anything at the moment. Now here we add a variable, variable number 1 is equal to a specific number, right? And then we'll have num2, we'll just say 10. Okay, now what we want to do is we want to add these two numbers, right? Or maybe times them, whatever we want. We want to do something to these numbers and then show it up, show it here, right? But what we could do, we can just say document dot get element by id.
At what time are we on tomorrow?
Hey, this time thing, hey, it hits me because I've got work as well. Uh, yeah, 8 o'clock, 8 p.m., 8 p.m., 8 p.m. Yeah, like today it hit me as well. I was busy with work. Okay, so we've got get element by ID, but now when we look here, we didn't add an ID, so we weren't gonna be able to get this at all, right? So all we'll do is we can just thank you so much for the popular votes. All we'll do here is we can just give it an ID quickly. Let's give it ID math. Please send me a location when you start your live. Are you following me? Okay, we'll quickly add the ID here, math. All right, and then we'll say dot inner HTML. Okay, I'll try and it will send you automatically if you're following, but then if I remember, just send me send me a notification. Yes, it will do a notification, 100%. Okay, so we've got dot inner HTML. what we want to do now is we want to show a specific equation, right? So let's just say num1, uh, and we want to see num1 times num2. Okay, then we say plus.
Brother man, I've been asking Young to accept my message request. Been 2 days now.
There's so many message requests, guys. Like, you'd be so surprised. There's so many. I'm sorry. I'll get to it. I've been trying to reduce them a bit, so I will definitely get to it. I will. Okay, num1 plus. So this plus, let me. Thank you. All right. So we've got num1 times num2. So what we're basically doing here is we just structuring an equation that we will show in our inner HTML, right? So this plus, don't confuse this plus as an equation plus, right? This plus is just to say you want this variable num1, you want this variable num1 to be added with this string, right? Then added with num2. So it's how it will show up. And then only then here, where we do the actual equation, we will do num1 times num2. Okay, num1 times num2. So this is just concatenating the variables together so it shows up, and then this is what does the equation. So let's see how that looks. Yeah, muted big fruits. What papa shem. Okay, so math equation will show up here. Let's say do math. So what it does, it says 7 times 7 times 10 is equal
My
to
animals
70.
map and places bar appears at bottom, even when I've added the top and bottom tabs.
Okay, did you send a picture of your code as well on the DM? Okay, so we've got 7 times 10 is 70. So what it does, it
Yeah,
okay, I will definitely check it out. Please send another message so it just comes up to the top. But after the live, don't send it now. Send it after the live. Okay, so we've got 7 times 10 is 70. The way this happens is this is num1. Okay, so here's num1. Then this times, here's the times right here. Then you've got num2,
thanks again.
no problem. Then there's num2 right there. Then you've got a plus equals. So here's it. There's the equal. Then only you've got the actual equation, right? So this is just concatenating the different stuff. This is you concatenating the stuff, and then there's the actual equation happening. So another thing you could maybe have done is instead of doing all of that, you could just have the answer show up. Maybe you could have to say, you could have an H3 that says 71, what's it, 7 times 10 equal. So just so it doesn't confuse you, but yeah. So you're just saying that what does 7 times 10 equal? When you click on do math, it gives you the answer. But this is not getting the number from here. You've done the number as variables right here, okay? So that was just me showing you something. But the way it is you can concatenate all the strings, all the variables, and then show everything together. That is lesson 3. Do we all understand? Are we good?
How often and what time do these lives happen?
Um, every day where possible, but
Yeah, boop.
supposed to be every day at 8 p.m. But you can always catch up on YouTube. The previous lives are always available on YouTube.
Understood.
Understood. Okay.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure. Okay. YouTube, are you guys good? I know you're always quiet but good. Are you guys good? Sure. All right. Cool.
Yeah, bo.
Oh, you're on both. Okay. Cool. Now let's quickly commit this and then continue. So I showed you all terminal. This is just VS Code. It's got its own source control here. I'll just use that. It makes it quicker. Sharp. Okay. Lesson 3. This was what numbers commit and push. Then whoever's a bit behind can just download the code. So it's now updated to the latest, which is lesson 3. So we're moving on to lesson 4 now. That's still on lesson 2. Oh, it's on private. No wonder you couldn't see it. I did not notice. Because we're not doing comparison, we're not checking if something is equal to something, we are assigning. So we're using one equals because we are assigning something.
What's your YouTube?
Simphiwe Radebe underscore underscore. Where's this thing? Oh, down here. Change visibility. No, man. So, mm, mm, mm. Okay, now it's available on YouTube.
At
On
Simphiwe Radebe.
okay, cool. Yeah, there we go. So it's now on YouTube. You can just on GitHub. You can just download it. We've got up to lesson 3. So now let's do lesson 4. Okay, lesson 4 is conditionals, right? So conditionals is basically if else. So if something happens, do something else, do something else. Kind of straightforward, but let's get into it. Okay, let's come back to our. This should be gone. Still updating. Why is it not gone? Mm-mm. Updated mass. Okay, we'll ignore that. Let's go to lesson 4. We're now doing lesson 4. But you guys are following. I hope you're like following. This is quite important. Hope you're following. Okay, lesson 4. The first part, obviously, again, we'll do our div with the class of lesson. Okay, then in here, just have an h3 lesson 4, which is your if else. Okay, this is conditionals, meaning if something happens, then do something. All right. So the way we'll be
Are you
do
going to start again from the beginning tomorrow, or you will be continuing from today?
I'll be continuing from today because I don't see us finishing, or we might lesson four. I know we won't actually because we've got how many lessons? 15. Okay. We'll see how we where we get to, but I will be continuing. So you can just catch up on YouTube. But I will be allowing questions obviously in the live from tomorrow as well. So we're on lesson four, right? So here, what we want to do is we want to have an input. So we did learn all of these HTML elements. So this is just for us to
All right,
capture.
thanks.
Cool. It's for us to capture something from the user. So we'll have an input with the type password. So meaning when I capture password, we'll give it an ID of password, right? And then a placeholder. So we want to show the user something. Try 007. Okay. Then here we'll have a button. This button will have an on click. All right. Then this on click will do lesson 4 because we're now on lesson 4. So we'll have a function called lesson 4, and the button's name will be check password, right? And then we'll just add a div with the class result and an ID result, right? Result 4, because this is lesson number 4. Then we'll say enter password and click. Cool. So that's the bare bone HTML we're doing. So this is how it's gonna look. Let's see. There. So this is what we have. So we'll have an input. The person will press this and it will give them a result down here. Okay. So they will enter something, then it will give them a result down there. All right. Thank you so much, guys, for 10K likes. Appreciate every single one of you. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. Okay. Cool. Let's move on. We're now on. We're gonna do the JavaScript now, right? So we'll do script and let's start writing the code. So let's have a variable name. This one will be user password. Okay. Then what we are doing now here, okay, we want to capture whatever value gets entered by the user here. Hence, we're calling it user password. And how do we capture that? We can just say document dot get element by ID, document dot get element by ID, and we're getting an element ID of, I answered you opulent. We are using equals because we are assigning a variable, or we're assigning something. Double equals or triple equals is for comparison. When you're comparing two different things, like two strings, a triple equal will be if you're comparing maybe to see if a string is not equal to a number, etc. But we're just doing assigning right now. Okay, so we've got document dot get element by ID, and the element we want to get is password. So we created this ID password. We want to be able to get whatever the user inputs here and save it so we can actually compare to see if the password is correct or incorrect, right? But now for us to get that, we're no more entering something, we are now getting something. So there's a function called, or a property called dot value, right? Dot value. Okay, dot value, right? So we've got var document dot get element by ID. Then we're getting the element ID password, and we want to get the value of this. So whatever will be entered by the user will be now stored in user password. So how do we use that? All we'll check now is we'll do an if statement. So what we want to get now is we want to check if whatever the user puts in is equal to a password we are setting. So let's say this was an admin site and we want a specific password for admins to be able to enter. So we're checking that if the user enters that password, then we know that user can enter. So they are an admin, right? But if not, then they are not an admin. Okay. So what you can do here, we'll say if, and then you put brackets. So how if works, you write the word if, put a space and add brackets. What goes on in your brackets is your conditional statement, okay? Conditional statement. What happens inside here is your conditional statement or your expression. So you are saying that if something is happening there, like if something is, so like someone was asking, Opulent Dreams was asking, why am I using one equal instead of two equals? This is where we would be using two equals now. So we'd say if the user password, meaning whatever we got from the user, is equal to a specific password, which will say 007, right? Now we are now comparing to say, is this the same as this? What this does, it now returns to the computer to say, okay, I've got the user gave me a password 07. 07 is not equal to 007, right? 007. It's not equal. So it returns false. And once it returns false, it means this condition is not met, meaning the user is not an admin. Therefore, we need to have something else to fall back on because this is not the right user. So how do we do that? To have something to fall back on, we put else. So we have the way we do it, we have our our brackets, curly brackets, click enter. This is where we'll enter whatever text if correct. Okay. Then we have an else, and then in this else is what we'll add text if incorrect. So what it's now doing, it's gonna first check whatever password the user enters in this input, it will assign it to this variable. Then we're now checking with this variable to say, is it equal to 007, right? If it's equal to 007, thank you so much, Opulent. Thank you so much, Opulent. If it's equal to 007, then only we will do something. And if it's not, we have to have else. So it's just saying if this, do this, else do that. If this, do this, else do that. So that's what we're doing now. So if the text is correct, or if the whatever the user gives us, we write the text or we do something which will be saying that yes, you are correct. And if not, you are not allowed. Okay. So let's add something in here. Now we're adding something in here. So we already added this specific div to be able to add the result for us, right? So to add the result, we'll just do document, right? Document.get element by ID, and then we getting the element ID is result 4. So we named it result 4, okay? Result 4. And we want to do the inner HTML, so we want to replace whatever's in there and add some text. What we'll add is correct password. You are logged in. Okay, so we've just added some text that when it's correct, we just say that the password is correct, you are now logged in. That's what we're now telling the user, right? We'll tell the user that it's the correct password, they are now logged in. But now if it's incorrect, we need to tell them something. So we do the same thing, document.get element by ID. We're going to use the same one because the result will go in there. So we say result 4, okay, dot inner HTML, result 4 dot inner HTML is equal to, you can say the wrong password. Please try again. Okay, so now we're giving the user two different messages, right? So if the password is correct, we're doing something, and if it's wrong, we're doing something else. Let's see in practice how this works. Why automatically starting to wrong password? Okay, it's fine. Let's just see. Let's put 007, check password. What did I do here? If user password is equal to, what does this thing mean now? This is right, man. Okay, let me refresh and see. It's now okay. I might have done something wrong. Let's see if my if is correct. Else, let me see. So, can anyone tell me what is wrong? If you've been paying attention, can you tell me what am I missing for this to actually work? What am I missing for this to actually work? Anyone, like anyone.
Look like you assigned result 4 twice. Try use alert.
No, no, that's not it. Just one more person. One more person. But what do you think I did wrong?
Is it not brackets?
No, no, no. That's not it. Okay. So the reason now this is not working, we've got this function here, but JavaScript has no function here. So when this button is clicked, it doesn't know which function to run. Like it's not created yet. So there's no function created at all. Therefore, when we click on check password, nothing is happening. And this code is being executed as soon as this code is being executed as soon as the document is loaded.
Check for any typos.
No, there's no typos, so it's this thing of the function. So you see why it shows up here. This already shows up because the code get executed and automatically user password is not equal to this, so it automatically add this, right? So what we need to do is we just need to add a function called lesson 4, then remove that, then just add that code in here. All right, now we're good. So now we have a function. So when this button is, no, there's no need for that. The reason is because we didn't have the function at all. We did not define the function. So after defining the function, let's now see. So now you see automatically we see enter password and click. So let's enter a wrong password. We'll enter 123 whatever, right? Check password. The password is wrong. Please try again. Let's now enter 007. Correct password. You are logged in. So you see what it's doing now. It will first check if whatever the user entered, if it's correct, it will show us something. And if it's not, it will show us something different. Chris, so we are following this. I'm teaching according to this lessons, right? Yes, in my previous one, I was showing them via let and const. This is what we are going through. Okay, let us continue. So 007. Okay, so the password is correct. And if we had to enter 1234, obviously password is wrong. So that's your conditional statements. That is your conditional statements. You've got a function and we've created a variable, and this variable captures, basically stores whatever value will be in the input field from whatever the user enters. Then we now do comparison to check if they are the same. Then only will we show a result in our div. Are there any questions? Are we good? Can I continue? Thank you so much for the TikTok. Sharp. Okay.
Yeah, we good. Don't you have any PDF for JavaScript? Bro.
No,
B.
I didn't do a PDF for this one. There's a PDF for the e-commerce site. Okay, let's just quickly commit this and then move on to lesson 5. Okay, that is done. We're now on lesson 5. Functions. Hmm? Oh, okay. It's a very straightforward one. Okay, let's go to lesson 5.
How to get that one? PDF.
Um, on my GitHub, we've got this public repo called Tech Hub. So this Tech Hub, you can come to this repo and then the PDF is right there. There's it right there. Thank you for the popular vote. Okay, we're on lesson 5 now. So for lesson 5, we'll do our div again. Div class lesson. Okay, and then we'll have a heading. Lesson 5.
Salut Danko.
Oh, perfect. Okay, so here we're gonna be learning about the functions, the what's this JavaScript attribute functions, right? So we can have an h2, and this h2 will be JavaScript. Okay, then we can just give instruction, click on the word. Okay, here we do not have to have any JS code, right? So what we want to demonstrate is on
Bro, which time you're live for this sections?
8 o'clock. 8 o'clock. So what happens here is we basically want to do the functions that are within that you can use for JS. So there's a function called onClick. All right. So this will do onClick, meaning whenever this specific element is clicked, something must happen. So we can just do this. This now just says that whatever we currently on, the current element we're on, we want to reference that, and we'll do dot inner HTML. So this is the same as us doing the document. Let me just show you quickly. This is the same as us doing document dot get element by ID, putting the entire ID, whatever, dot inner HTML, right? What we're doing here, we're just removing all of this by just saying this, because we're already on the specific element. We don't need to get it by ID. We don't need to find it by the document getting the ID. We already on the specific element. So we just say this dot inner HTML. So it's just replacing this entire thing, because this, what this does, it finds the element, and then we now just saying this because we are on the specific element. So that's why we did this right there. Okay, so we say this dot inner HTML is equal to, so what are we gonna say? So this is single quotes. Okay, just bear in mind this is single quotes. So when I say is awesome, all right, so all will happen is when this h2 is clicked, this will be executed, and then it will add is awesome into this HTML, into this element. Let's see how that looks. So here's JavaScript. Let's click on it. It changed to is awesome. You see? So it changed to is awesome because we put an on click listener on it. So it's like an event, click event. And then when we click on it, it does something. So it's similar to our function, but it's an on click function within our HTML attributes that we can take advantage of. So that is lesson 5. We're just showing you these click events. Any questions?
What are you teaching?
JavaScript. Are you sorted now? Did Butzilo help you? Guys, are we all good? JavaScript. This word right here, JavaScript. Did Butzilo
Please repeat.
did Butzilo help you? Are you sorted? Almost.
Almost.
Okay. Okay, guys, let's commit and continue. So we'll just add our changes. This is lesson 5.
What are your live about? Evening, bro.
Evening, Houston. The live is teaching JavaScript. So this is part of the FNB App Academy. It's just helping people with the lessons that they get every week. This is now our click events. So functions. Okay, so you can just commit this lesson 5, commit and push.
Where do I sign up for this?
Uh, the App Academy signs up are closed now, but you can still sign up via IT Varsity. So you can search IT Varsity FNB App Academy, and then you can still sign up for the actual lessons. But I do it for free, so I'm just teaching in my spare time for people to learn. So you don't have to be part of App Academy to actually learn with me. I think it's gonna get to that as well. I don't think in this one they did it, but that's what I was gonna teach, or I'm teaching with the other one, with the e-commerce website. But no, we did do declaring of variables right here. Obviously, we use var, but yeah, what can we say?
Thank you. Bro, you are doing a great job. I will definitely join your lessons.
Thank you so much, Easton. Looking forward to seeing you. Thank you so much. Okay, guys, we can continue. So we should be done committing. Yo. So we should be done committing. Let's now do the next part. Lesson 6. Let's just go back to the lessons they gave us. Gosh. Oh, now we're using JS. Lesson 6. So here, we'll take things
What
up a notch.
challenges did you came across when creating your first app?
Ooh. First app. I think designing it, but I had a lot of resources to help, so I don't know. The designing as well as deploying of the app itself. So deploying the app was something I had to learn. Okay, guys, let's now do this part. So here they said we'll take things up a notch by using functions in conjunction with conditionals, right? So we'll use a function and have conditionals too. Oh, the way they wrote it here is so terrible. But let's go. Okay, no, we'll do it similar. Let's do it. This is lesson. What is lesson 6? Okay, lesson 6, right? Thank you so much for the follows, guys. 100 people followed me. Thank you so much. Breco, what do you do? Because you can't come in here and assume we are just doing things. People are learning here. Not just better. Okay, let us continue. Uh, we have a div. Then we'll have lesson. Look, now I'm even. Oh, people are so annoying sometimes. Yo, I have a class and then lesson. So here we're gonna do functions, right? Toggle functions. It's had an h3. Lesson 6 now. So let's start. We'll have an h2 with an ID of toggle. So basically use this to toggle, right? Then we'll also have an on click. We'll call a function toggle text. And then yeah, this will be Java script, whatever you want to write. So whenever this button is clicked, thank you so much, Terry. Whenever this button is clicked, then toggle text will be called. So as many times that it will be clicked, it will be called all the time and do something, right? So let's add the script tag. Oh, you can just nudge the user on what to do. So this will be click to toggle. Okay, that's fine. Now let's write our script tag. Okay, that's our script tag. Then we'll add our function. Now in this function, the name will be toggle.
At opulent underscore dreams.
Oh, this guy is sleeping and he's busy. Yeah, cool. Opulent, you can ignore Sam. It was a mistake. Okay, so we've got toggle text because that's the function name we just created. So we're creating toggle text. We don't need any inputs, right? So let's first get our element. So this will be our element, right? Or we can just call it toggle, actually. So we'll say var toggle is equal to document dot get element by ID, and the ID we're looking for is toggle. Okay, that's all. So we're just getting the toggle. Now we've assigned this specific document, this specific element to toggle. Okay. Now let's do some conditional, so our if statements. So if our toggle dot inner HTML is equal to JavaScript, please make sure you spell it exactly the way you spelled it here, because we're checking to say if what we're seeing here is what is already in there, we want to change that text. Okay, that's what we're doing. So if what we're seeing here is what's in our inner HTML, we want to change the text. Okay, so we'll do toggle.inner HTML is equal to JavaScript, right? Then you can just do toggle.inner HTML is equal to now is awesome. So now what you're doing is you're now assigning the inner HTML of it to is awesome. So it will change now, right? So when this is called, it will do this function and check. The moment it checks, it will see that it's equal and then do this one. But if it's not equal, meaning it's now is awesome, it will now change back to, it will change back to, hi Tato, it will change back to JavaScript. So that's what we're doing here. Script. Okay. So basically what happens here with do our first if statement, what it checks is will this element is what's inside this element. So what I've highlighted JavaScript, is this equal to what we're checking here? So we're checking is it still JavaScript? The moment we know that that's true, that it's still JavaScript, we now change it to become um we now change it to become is awesome. But now when you click the button again, now the toggle has changed. This is now is awesome. Okay, this is now is awesome. So when it gets here, this becomes false now because it's already changed. So it now executes the else statement and changes it back to JavaScript. I'm using the IDs. Yes, yes, I agree with you. I agree with you. We'll use that next. We'll use that next. Okay. What was I saying now? Let's change this back to JavaScript. Let's see what happens. So you see, if I click this, the moment I click it, it changes to is awesome. If I click it again, it changes to JavaScript, changes to is awesome. So what's happened is it's calling this function toggle text. After toggling the text, it checks the element, which is our toggle element. Then it checks this, it gets this value, right? Then it checks the inner HTML, like inside this, it will get this text and then check is it equal to JavaScript right here. Okay. The moment it's equal, it will now change that text to something else. But when you click the button again, the same process happens again. But now we know the button or the text has now changed. So it just checks it again and it will become false. Then it just executes the else statement and puts JavaScript. So that's what we're doing here. So this was just toggle functions. So it will just happen repeatedly. Every time you click on it, it's just busy, changing, because now this becomes JavaScript and then it will now become is awesome. It will become a JavaScript. Sorry, etc. Are there any questions? Thank you so much, Oswell. What's the difference between var, let, and const?
Not yet.
Not yet. What's up? So your var is just a variable. You are creating a variable. Let is you creating a variable that you can change. Const is you just creating a constant variable. That's the best way I can put it.
Please don't forget to check your DMS after live, please.
100%. I am phonic. What's the problem?
No problem, I heard you clearly.
Oh, you good now?
Yebo.
Okay, cool. So I just want to quickly go through something because I'll keep getting this in my comments. Like I will just keep getting it in my comments. It'll never stop. So there's different variables, right? There's different variables. The ways to define a variable, rather. Let me just do it in JS.
Please repeat the link and logic between the script and the HTML.
Why didn't I see this comment? Please repeat the link and logic between script and the HTML. What do you mean? Okay, can I quickly let me get this actually. Cause okay, so there's var, let, and const, right? So what's the difference? Var is the old way of defining a variable, which is the same as let. Okay? So let you use it when the value will change. Like I said, let is used for when the value will change. Const is used when the value will stay the same. So use const by default and let when you need to change the value. Avoid var. Now let me explain why are we using var at the moment. So do you see we are now following this IT varsity lessons, right? They are using var at the current moment. But if we check what we did in our e-commerce site, we were using const. Why? Because that's the new way to do it. So, everyone asking why I'm still using var, because I'm following the lesson plan or the lessons given by IT Varsity for the App Academy. That's the reason why. But there is a difference. So, here you go. There's your difference. This is the old way, there's the new way, and there's consts where things stay the same. If you know the value is not going to change, you use const. And if the value will change, you use let. So there's a way for you to at least see how this works. Var, let, and const. Here's a basic. See, they do the same thing, but for example, here, const wasn't changed because it's a constant variable. But don't mind these. I was just trying to get that out the way because it's just, yeah. I hope you understand that part. Okay, let's continue. Are these devs that have been asking me, are you good now? Not yet. Okay, first, please repeat the link. Can you just rephrase your question, Sam? And then, here, as well, can I toggle other data types like a container? Maybe it's just a text. Yes, you can, but you'd now be, if it's a div, then you need to also obviously return a div, whatever the value will be of it. So you'd be returning the HTML elements that would be in that div. Sam, if you can just let me know.
I missed the first of your lessons, hence I'm struggling to articulate my question.
Oh, are you trying to say how do we link the script.html as well as the
First
script?
part.
Are you trying to understand how we link index and a script file, or why we're using this script tag? Not yet. Also, are you can just let me know if you're good. I'm continuing now. So we can at least push.
The order of execution between the two.
Yeah, so this is just the reason I'm doing it like this is because I want us to have the scripts in the same divs, right? So that we are able to just see that this function is working here for this specific lesson. So we're using a script tag. A script tag allows us to add a tag, which allows us to write JavaScript function within our HTML document. So that's the reason why we're adding this here, right? But normally what you do, you'd have your HTML file, and you'd have another file called script.js file. Then all your JavaScript code, like this would be sitting in here, right? This would be sitting in here. Then the way you'd link it is at the bottom, you just have script source script.js. That's how you link it to the specific file. So you just link it like that, and then it's now linked. But we're not using a separate file at the moment, so that it's easier for you when you go back, you are able to see which function does what, and you'll just see exactly where it is. That's the reasoning behind this. If anyone wants to know about these variable stuff, I'll just push this as well to GitHub.
Oh, I see. Thanks. This one is all written in one go.
Yes. Uh, Damn. Okay, guys. Yes, I answered you properly. Okay, perfect. Uh, where are we now? We just done lesson. I'm all over the place. Lesson 6. Let's do lesson 7. How long is lesson 7? And let's try and do till 10. We could actually finish till 15, but let's try and do till 10 and then see how people are still doing. I don't want to put too much information. Oh, committed first. Let's commit. Okay, so we did
What's going on here?
people are learning how to code. Okay, let's just commit quickly. Six. Was it lesson 5 or 6? The 6 functions continued.
Is it an FNB program?
Yes, it's part of the FNB program. Functions. Thank you for the follow. What am I showing?
I'm following you, bro. I'm falling in love with coding again.
I'm happy for that. Thank you so much.
Is it only about building websites?
Uh, at the moment, it will be websites, but I'm looking to take it further to mobile applications and APIs, things like that. So I'm just currently following what the FNB App Academy sends, and then we go through that together. Okay, so anyone wants to download the repo? The repo is available with the latest lesson. So we'll continue now. Go to lesson 7. So let's see what lesson 7 is. Function parameters. Okay, I basically just did this when we started, but let's do it again. Okay, lesson 7. But I'm happy Nokolo you falling back in love with it. Coding is very nice. Okay, let's do a div. Ish, I don't see YouTube. Okay, YouTube is good. Uh, ish, out of curiosity, before I drive, how often did you say? All the time. That's basically the standard we should be following. Most cases. Okay. Ish, yeah. I'm running away. Keep being. Okay. Lesson. We're doing a function lesson. Then here we'll just add an H with the title. Lesson 7. Lesson 7 is function parameters. Okay, function parameters. Cool. So here, okay, we'll just add what the concept is about. How? Okay. So we're just gonna be learning about function parameters, passing data into functions. Okay. So we've already done functions. Now we'll just be passing the data into functions. Okay. Cool. So let's start with a button. This button will do a specific equation. So we'll say this button will add 10 plus 7. Okay. Then the next button will subtract 25 minus 18. Then the third button, no, I'm actually doing it wrong because we're gonna have one function. Rather do it as one function. It's fine. Let's just do them all as add. I'll explain why. Add 1245 plus whatever. Then let's just have a container for our output. So where will we show the stuff? So div class output, div class output. Then here you can also add an ID. This ID will be addition. And then 7 is because we're on lesson number 7. Okay. Then result will show here. Result will show here. Cool. So these buttons will have to do something. So let's quickly see how it looks so far. What? Oh, interesting. Okay. So what we're doing is we're gonna be, when we click these buttons, we need to show the result of these equations. Okay. That's what we need to do. Excuse me. So let's start. First thing, these need to have functions, right? That when the button is clicked, something must happen. So let's add an on click, and we'll give this a function of add numbers, right? And add numbers will just take 10 and 7. The reason we're saying 10 and 7 is because we want to add 10 and 7, okay? But let me actually do it vice versa so you understand it a bit clearly. Let's remove this for now. Let's start by creating the function actually. Okay, so create the functions first. So the function will have a name of add numbers, okay? And it needs to take parameters. What are parameters? I explained it, but let's explain it again. So think of a calculator. Calculator will have numbers and have functions. The functions being plus, minus, divide, subtract, what multiply, all of those, right? Those are your functions. So the function we want to do here is add numbers, but to add numbers you need two things. You need a first number and a second number, right? So our calculator will only work for two numbers. So the function will take in a parameter, meaning when something is added, to say I want 1 and 3 added, that's the input into the function. Then the function does the work and gives you an output being the answer. So what we do here is we just write a name of what we will use, what we will reference within our function, representing our numbers that we will get, right? So this will be first number, comma, the second number, num2. So we have the first num1 and num2. Then in these two nums, we want to be able to make we want to do the addition, right? So we just want to show the addition in here. So to do that, we'll just say document dot uh what is it, get element by id. The element we're looking for is addition because we want to add the answer in here. So it's addition 7 dot inner html. Okay, even this is not the right way to do it. We should be using inner text, but we are just following App Academy for now. Okay, so we'll just show that we are adding num1 uh plus num2 equals, then this is where we do the equation. So we're saying num1 plus num2. So this will now do our equation. It will do num1 plus num2 and give us the answer. So it will show in that result, it will show the number 1 that we have, show the plus, then show the number 2 we have, then show an equal, and then show the result. So that's why we've done it like this, right? So let's quickly see. Oh, wait, we're not done. We're not done. So we've now created the function, right? But now we need to use this function. So let's go back to our buttons and put an on click. So on click, we want to use add numbers, right? On click, we want to use add numbers. Then add numbers requires two parameters, being the first number and the second number being 7. So we'll just use it as we see it here. So it's 10 and 7. Then we can just copy this and use it again here. This time here it will be 25 and 18. Then we do the same thing here. Will be 1, 2, 4, 5 and 5, 2, 6. Yeah, 5, 6, 2. Okay, so this will now take these two numbers and put them in here, then start filling the value of these two numbers in this specific line. So the value here will be 7, will be 10, then it will be 7, then it will add them together, 10 plus 7, and put 17. These are just concatenation pluses, not this plus, right? This is concatenation. All right, so the tabs, what? Thank you so much for 46,000 tabs, guys. Appreciate you all. Lo Pendalo. Yes, this is week 4. We're on week 4 now. We're on lesson 7 already. Okay, so let's quickly test. Let's click 10 plus 7. So it now shows us the sum and shows us the answer. If we click this, shows us the sum, then shows us the answer. If we click this one, shows us the sum and it shows us the answer. If we just wanted the answer, we can remove all of this text we don't need. So we just want to see the answer. Let's say we just want to see the answer. So you can just say num1 plus num2. No, sorry, put it in brackets so that it actually does the equation, because that might add the two numbers together. Just say num1 and 2 will be 10. Let me actually show you. So that's if I'm correct, if I remember it correctly. No, it does the addition as well. Okay, so you can have it without the brackets or with the brackets. Oh, because it's numbers. Yes, if it was strings it was gonna put them together. Cool. So you've got 10 plus 7 gives you 17. 25 plus 18 is 43. 1245 plus 562 is 1807. So you've now done function parameters. These parameters work with this function to give you an answer based on input that you are giving it. Are there any questions? Because we're now done with lesson 7. Thank you so much for the follow. You can find it on YouTube. It'll be posted on YouTube after this.
Okay, Bafo.
Okay, Bafo. Play that. Yeah, I'm dead. Kinji flay, flay. Okay. I don't see. Oh wait. How does JS different from plus string concatenation or an addition operator? Does JS have a built-in? Does it? I forgot that actually. I don't know if it does. Uh, there's no built-in sum function in JavaScript. Okay, so there isn't a built-in as well. There's no built-in, but JavaScript will know if these are two integers. It will do addition. It will do an addition operation. But now, if it's now strings, the moment it's strings, it will now concatenate. Or let's see string. Let's see a string plus an integer. What happens? Then you will understand. What? That is some crazy stuff. Let's see strings. Strings will obviously put them together. But that's actually interesting. Very interesting. See, these come together. But I guess if this. So you see, we learn together. I have not done this in a while. Let's see. Oh, this one does. See, this adds it as two strings. But I guess I think it takes preference over um what's this data type of an integer maybe. I'm guessing at this point because I don't know why it did that. 7 7. So it put sevens together. But now it didn't add it actually.
What
What's
is the
it?
name of your YouTube channel?
It's Simphiwe Radebe __. Yeah, JavaScript is something else. You'll catch up with the recording. Oh, thank you so much, Shane. Thank you for joining. Yeah, JavaScript is something else, guys. No, yeah, it shouldn't have done actually. Wait, let's see. It didn't even add it because. Okay, cool. That's fine. Let's move on. What is the name of the vessel you used to study with? Uh, I what did I use? I used Udemy, Solo Learn. Those are the two I use. But right now we're using IT Varsity's App Academy because this is an FNB App Academy program. So I'm just helping people with the stuff. I've already done this before, so I'm just assisting people. You're saying, it's called 10,000. Okay, let's continue. Functions return. This is what we want. Right? This is what we want. Oh wait, there's no questions, right? No questions. Can we continue to lesson 8? Let's quickly commit lesson 7 and go to lesson 8. We're almost done.
I appreciate.
Thank you so much, NP. Okay, let's continue. These people on WhatsApp are distracting me.
How long is the duration to get to know coding on the level you do?
Woo! I've been coding for 8 years, going to my ninth year. This is my actual ninth year now. Ninth year coding. So, yo, you can get there quick as if you're actually determined, like very quick. It's just obviously I've been doing it for so long, like very long. So that's the thing. Okay, we've committed lesson 7. If someone is not caught up, they can just download it. Let's do lesson 8 now. So let's see what's lesson 8. Oh yeah, function return. So we're just returning something. Okay. What is it? Lesson 8. You guys are understanding, right? I hope you guys are understanding. If not, we'll definitely go through it again tomorrow. I don't mind. We will go through it again from scratch.
Yeah, we do.
Okay. Well, I just said it's 8. It took me 8 years to get to where I'm at. I'm not this good, but I'm at least somewhere right now.
Laugh out loud. That's a lifetime of coding. And here I am sitting with a 404 error.
Yeah, no, age. I started at 14, so I've been in this thing for a while and I haven't stopped. So I've just been coding non-stop for a long time. Missing values being used. Yeah. Okay. So what we'll be doing now is we're returning values to be used elsewhere, right? So we're using a function to return a value so we can use it somewhere else. So the first step, I understand
I
some parts.
understand some parts on others am cooked.
Where are you cooked? Where are you cooked? So let's first add a button. YouTube's not behind, right? Okay. We'll add a button, and this button will do calculate. Where am I typing? Calculate and display results. Okay, our function name will just be run lesson 8. Then we have a div, obviously for our output again, class output. Sorry, give me 2 seconds. Okay, so we've got our output, and then have we have to have an ID as well. So this will be addition 8 ish. These WhatsApps. Result will show here. Okay, so add our script tag. What is now on 8? What's 9 about? Now I think we're ending it here. Variable scopes. Okay, and login form part 1. Let's end it here. Let's end it here. Right? Let's continue. Or I'll say let you go here, and then we can just do 8, 9, and 10 if people are so willing. Because I'm just looking. I hope you're not tired or not. You're still understanding. Because I can go on until 2, 3. Okay, no, I can't. I've got work. Okay, let's add a function. This will be run listen camel casing. Run listen 8. We're not going to take any parameters at the moment. So here we'll do document dot get element by ID. We're getting edition 8. Oh, and then dot inner HTML. I ran out. What am I doing? Outside dot inner HTML is equal to 10 plus 7, which is equal to plus add numbers return 10 7. So let me explain this part. So we had a function called run listen 8. Run listen 8 gets this result div, then it will put in the result, or we'll put the sum first plus the result of this function. So we haven't created this function yet, so we now need to create another function. This function,
We're reminded to put individual effort to be on same wavelength as you, just like HTML and CSS part.
we're reminded, when's the next live? Tomorrow? Is this Python? No, this is JavaScript, HTML and JavaScript. We're reminded to put individual effort to be on the same wavelength as you, just like HTML. 100%. 100%. So we'll create a new function called add numbers return, right? So that's that function we're calling right here, and we want this function to take in num1 and num2. So what do we do with num1 and num2? We'll just return a value. So we say return num1 plus num2. So what this does, it will take the values, whatever we give the values of, then return the number, meaning it will calculate and the function will return, give you this number. So what happens here is we're calling this function, passing in the values. This needs to return the number and place the answer right here. So let's see. Let's
Hey
see.
Sims.
Who's Haysims? Oh, bots, how are you? Yes, so if we click this, it will calculate the result and return the value, then just put it on it will render as well with our HTML right there. So we've got two of these functions. This is run by our on click when the button is clicked. Then we put our result of the sum or of the equation in this div. So this function will be run, and then we'll get the div and put in the result in this specific div, right? So that's what we do right here. So we're basically having a function that returns a value, then we display the value, and we still have this other function that we use to run and display the value in our div. I don't know if we get that part. So what we did, we just have two functions. One function runs, then you don't have to run this function in our button, because when you run this function called run lesson, this function will get run when run lesson is already
JavaScript,
called.
the pits.
Ish, the pits for real, man. But we're teaching. What can we say? I haven't even started with week 4 lessons. Yeah. And we're already at lesson 8. Do you see? But on the what's this, my YouTube channel, you'll find the live recording there. Okay, cool. Do we understand YouTube? Very quiet, but are you good? Mm.
The lack of type safety is making me uncomfortable.
Skawara, skawara, skawara. We're learning here. Ish, they'll get to that. They'll get to that. So we're following this. We're following this. Just look, brother. Even using var, they're still using var here. Do you see var? So we are just doing. How did I miss that? I don't remember adding that. How did I remember adding 007, 008? Oh, okay. I see. I see. We did it differently. Inner HTML instead of dot inner text. There's a lot, but sorting. Are we good? Are we good, guys? Can we move on? Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, let's commit first. Actually, I keep creating new terminals instead of using the one I have here. Oh man, get at all. Rats. Down to lesson 8. Again, if you want to catch up, it should be updated on the repo. Yeah, our last is lesson 8. Let's go to lesson 9 now. Yeah, I didn't even add it. This was lesson 8. lesson 9. So I have a div, the class of lesson as we've been doing. Then let's have an h2. This will be called lesson 9. These are our variable scopes. So we wanna understanding where variables can be used. So we'll add a button. This button will demonstrate when variables can be used. Demonstrate when variables can be used. Okay. But that's a long name. Maybe we can just do it like that. Demonstrate variable scope. Okay. Then we'll have another div. This is our output. So output. Then we can have an ID of scope output. Scope output. Then we can click button, just text to see scope. Okay, this will need an on click, so we need obviously to run a function, right? So we'll just have a demonstrate how demonstrate scope. Okay, so it's a function, so don't forget our brackets. Demonstrate scope. Then let's add our script tag or script element, and then in here let's start with creating a variable up here. Okay, I'm a global variable, so we're creating this as a global variable, meaning it's gonna be available throughout the entire we'll just say in this script, right? So any function can access it, right? Then we've got we'll create our function of demonstrate scope. We don't need any parameters. Then we'll have var local variable being it's a variable within this specific function. Okay, so it's local. Okay, let's do our document dot get element by id. So the element we are getting is scope output. Scope output dot inner html, right? So that will be equal to the first thing we'll have is global. So what I did is I just said equals enter, right? But you could have it like equals, then we just continue in one line. It's just gonna be a lot. Global. So we have global, okay? So we're just saying this is our global element, right? So plus global variable, okay? So we just want to show here in this output div what happens here. So we'll add our global variable, and then just do a line break so you can add some HTML here, but in quotes. So all we can, let's just do this. Press enter so we can see it a bit better. So this will be our global. Then we plus our local. This will be plus local variable plus another BR. And then just plus, we'll just have text local. Only exist inside their function. So we've got a global variable and we've got a local variable. So if we had another function, right? You see how global variable we were able to access it within this specific function. So let's just add another function. Let's add another function called demonstrate what global local demonstrate local scope. Okay, so I will just change this one, right, to demonstrate local scope. Okay, then let's just change this. We'll just copy that same thing, and here we'll just show the local scope, local variable. Cool. So I want you to see something. You see how this variable local variable is working, right? But the moment we click here, nothing is happening. The reason nothing is happening because this local variable is only accessible within this function. Yes, it's defined and we can see it here, right? We can see it, but we can't access it because it is not global. It's not within the entire script per se. It's only in the function. So this is what a local variable does, and a global variable works whether you're out, you can use it within functions, outside of functions, but it's now global. So this is the difference between the two. If we had a local variable that we've defined somewhere in a function, we can't access it here because it's local for that function only. Yeah, I think that's the easiest way for me to say it. Do we understand? Yarri. 54K. Thank you guys. Thank you so much. Clear.
Clear.
YouTube. Okay, let's just maybe do like demonstrate local. I think we're clear. I'm continuing. So let's commit this and finish. Lesson 9. Mm, 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 mm. Ba 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 ba. All right, we're done with lesson 9. There was no questions, so we're now on lesson 10. So this is like a mini project. It's a login form activity. Give me a second, I need to now solve this thing. I think this might be TikTok's way of saying it's cha.
We can continue tomorrow.
Yeah, I think we might continue tomorrow. But yeah, tomorrow we'll continue, which will be login form. We'll be done, and then we actually can continue tomorrow and then do the e-commerce site as well. With what you guys have learned, it will be a bit easier too. Okay, no, let's end it here. Let's tomorrow we'll start lesson 10, 10 to
I won't
15.
sleep tonight until I get your help.
Okay, no problem. Putsila, are you still here? Yeah, 3 minutes to midnight. But cool. You guys can download the repo. It's got everything we've done so far. Then there's also variable definitions. You can just run this specific document and it will show you the difference. Then yeah. So you see. Okay, now you guys got this. Thank you for joining. The races. Uh, we're good. We're good. Okay, yeah, you can download on the repo. It's there. It's got all the changes. We're on lesson 9. We'll do lesson 10. Then after that, we'll continue and do the e-commerce site as well. So I'll try to be live early, but ish, never know. But yeah, so tomorrow should be 8. Oh, I want to go on like at 7 so I can finish early. 7 p.m. 7 p.m. I'm committing to 7 p.m. Tomorrow, 7 p.m.
Cool.
I'll be live and then we can do the things. Thank you guys for joining. Where's that other one? Cake, 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 cake. So you see, this is what we basically did. Tomorrow will be this. Oh, I leaked my thing.
Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. These are the last lessons we have. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So should be good. Then
Maybe you can give me your number where I can reach out.
okay, yeah, I can't share my number here. Cannot share my number here at all. Try and send. Ish, how do I end my email address? I had it here. Text, text, text. Here's my email. Yeah, just send me an email. YouTube, thank you guys for joining. Thank you so much for joining. Appreciate you all. Can you please just leave a like before you go? Just a like, that's all. And yeah, guys, you can also do post whatever you've done. Yeah, it's nice to see if people actually understanding and if my lessons are or my lives are actually impactful. So it's nice to do that as well. Tabi, so here's my email. Are you good? So I can end the live. Thank you, YouTube.
Yes, brother.
See you guys